This is my favourite Need for Speed. It is everything I want a Need for Speed to be, especially when this series has taken a lot of turns throughout the years and honestly pushed out a lot of questionable games. This Need for Speed is pure chaos, epic police chases, high-powered cars, and it is one of the games in the series that knows exactly what it needs to deliver. But let's talk about the maps, because honestly they are so good. There are large canyons, flat deserts, lush forests and snowy tracks, so it's fair to say that there is a good diversity of tracks. But what makes them so great is that they flow extremely well. The maps have a perfect amount of twists, elevation and long straights. I'm a terrible driver. On some maps you will come across these very long spirals, which are not very realistic. But who the fuck cares? Do you think this game was trying to be realistic? In this series, Need for Speed has taken the approach to make some open world games, and honestly, in racing games I do prefer open world. But with this Need for Speed, the point-to-point maps are way more enjoyable in this game. I think that comes down to the fact that the tracks have not just been placed randomly on an open world. Each course has been designed from point A to B, and it makes almost every course feel fun to play, no matter how many times you drive it. And the courses feel so good to drive on because the game is focused on extremely high speed racing and driving close to your opponents. It allows you to push all the cars and initiate satisfying drifts every time. I mean, yes, maybe the courses are not that detailed compared to other games, but what's super cool is there is a free roam mode, which allows you to just drive and appreciate the beauty. I noticed the details on the petrol station and shops, and the windows have this illusion to make it look like it's 3D. It's pretty cool. It brings me to the graphics, since this game is visually stunning for its time. Yes, I know this is the remastered version, so it's slightly improved, but let's be honest, they did not touch much of the game to make it a noticeable remaster. It is visually a stunning game with the views in the distance, with lakes and mountains and the seamless transitions to each section in the course. It makes it feel way bigger than it actually is. Hot Pursuit was all about having the option to drive as racers or driving police cars and smashing racers and totally not ending their lives. But this for me was what made Hot Pursuit so good. I love the idea of having this rivalry between the two and having the option to race other vehicles and avoid the police, or be on the flip side and completely destroy any racers in your path. This was a very refreshing approach, as it added an extra layer of diversity to the gameplay. If I got bored of playing on one side, then I could just switch. For the races, there were the time trials, races which had no police, and also Hot Pursuit, which would involve a race with a lot of police cars chasing you. I mean, just look at this, there are so many crazy things going on in just this one race, and even though there is a fuck ton of rubber banding, which is to be expected of such a game, it definitely puts up a decent challenge of the AI, and they can get quite aggressive and try ram you off the road. In the police events, there were time trials, interceptions and Hot Pursuit as well. Interceptions were really fun, as this would be a scenario where you find a single racer driving very quickly and recklessly, and you need to stop the vehicle as fast as possible. Hot Pursuit was extremely fun as the police, because it would just be you and 6 racers to take down one by one. It can actually get quite difficult, as you need to make sure you are not spending too much time trying to take down one car, as you waste time and eventually you need to catch up to the others. Of course, I can't not talk about the gadgets on this game, which would differ whether you are a racer or police. These were super important and would give you both points and would give you an advantage when you're in difficult situations. I will say though, I slightly preferred the gadgets on the police side, but then again, the turbo. System online. Eventually, as you progress through the game and level up your rank, you will obtain more cars, which has this sick animation, and your gadgets will get upgrades and you get these cool visuals showing you what changed, and the iconic voice telling you about the gadgets.
The cops have been increasing their use of force. To combat this, we have fitted your car with a jammer. When in a pursuit, you can activate this device to disable the communications.
God, I love the voice so much. One thing to mention is that this game does not have a story really. I love a story, especially in a racing game, as it creates a whole new element that is very rare in these types of games. But Need for Speed does not have one, and I feel that it doesn't really need one, and if it did, I don't think it would fit very well. It does set up the idea of what is happening, such as the police are trying to shut down these races, and there is this odd moment where you are doing a time trial in a police car, but it'll be about reaching the suspect's location in a time period. It sort of gives you a reason to do certain events rather than just doing a time trial for the sake of it. I don't think it needs a story. It's about driving these cars you would never dare to drive this fast on these types of roads, and that's where the fun comes from. I want to talk about the physics because the Need for Speed series has had an array of different physics, but I feel that Hot Pursuit has nailed the physics in this one. It is satisfying, smooth, and quite easy to pick up. Drifting uses the brake to drift system, and I believe it is one of the better executions of this system. Yes, the drifting sort of feels like the car is on tracks, but this system paired with the maps and the feeling of the corners just makes it flow so well. It is what makes this game feel so good to drive every time. The only thing I would say is each car does not feel too different from each other apart from maybe the weight. In terms of the list of cars, I think Hot Pursuit actually has a great selection despite not having that many cars. Let me explain. In a lot of games, I feel that there are hundreds of cars that are thrown at you immediately, for example, in Forza. I literally don't care for a lot of the cars that are in the game, but in Hot Pursuit, I feel like the cars have been chosen carefully. The game has a tier system for each level of cars. You start with lower end cars, and eventually as you progress you unlock hypercars. The thing is, with this game you unlock individual cars as you progress, and that makes it quite monumental with each car you unlock. This makes it exciting to drive every car because they all have more significance. I have easily driven all cars in this game. And when you get an opportunity to test out the faster vehicles, it just makes you more excited to unlock it. Need for Speed is known for having heavy customizations such as body kits, spoilers or rims. Hot Pursuit does not have any of this apart from changing the paint. I mean, in the remastered version they did add decal customization, which is reminiscent of Need for Speed 2015, but this was not a feature in the original Hot Pursuit. And I am someone who absolutely loves customization in racing games, but not having it in this game has not hindered this experience at all. If anything, it makes me appreciate each vehicle even more for what it is, and I kinda like that element. Finally, the details that really make this racing experience great. The damage models. This was a peak golden legendary moment in time where car brands did not care too much about the image of their vehicles in games, so we could get some incredible crashes and damage that really made it feel like the car was on its last legs. Another detail, like I mentioned before, was the description of the cars. Just listen.
To ensure the Reventon was at least as fast as the LP640, its engine has been tuned to develop even more power. All-wheel drive and low-profile.
It's a very sophisticated sort of voice and has recently become popular on the internet. This again feeds back into the whole idea of each car feeling a little bit more special. The engine sounds is still one of the highlights for the game for me. Even though they may not be completely accurate to real life, it has this raw, deep sound to it, and it all just gives you adrenaline while driving. And did I mention the startup sounds? And that brings me to the sound design. It is something I feel like is not mentioned much, but there are a lot of little details. One of my favorites is when a gadget is recharging and it comes back online. I feel like I'm in a super high-tech modified spy vehicle or something. I also love the sound of the jammer, which makes everything sound like you were on noise cancelling for a second before it opens up again. Just going back to the free roam, I think this is a really cool feature. Just because the game is a point-to-point system, they still gave you the option to drive around at your own pace, and even allows you to take your own turns and directions. Makes you realize how big the map is. I also just noticed you could turn off the lights and even the engine, which I know is not mind-blowing feature, but it's still really cool. Anyway, so to conclude, if you haven't played this game in a while and it's sitting in your Steam library or your dusty Xbox 360, go play it now, like right now, go. Make sure to subscribe for more and follow on Twitch. I'll see you next time.